I am standing in front of one of the many giant piles of salt that New York City keeps so they can salt the roads when it snows in this frigid city. But guess what? I can leave this city and I can vlog with the smallest vlogging hardware imaginable. In fact, you're looking at it right now. It's been in my hand the whole time. This little thing shoots 5K, not 4K, 5K, is stabilized by a gimbal and can completely fold up and shrink down and fit inside a pants pocket. This is the craziest vlogging thing ever. Alright, so I drove all the way to this giant pile of salt because I thought it would be a cool backdrop for this video. And unfortunately, it's 35 degrees here in New York City, which is about 1 or 2 Celsius. It's just too cold to stand outside and shoot. So I'm shooting in the car. Alright, what are you going to do? I'm sitting parked in front of this pile of salt. Anyhow, we're going to talk about the best travel gimbal and travel vlogging video equipment you can buy today. Now, when I say the best, honestly, it's best in terms of practicality and overall picture. Right now, what I'm filming on, since I'm holding the equipment, the travel equipment in my hand, is like a Sony a6100 with the 16mm f1.4 lens. That's like an over $1,000 combination. So we're not talking about best in terms of quality of picture, which is what you're probably seeing right now on me. I don't know if it gets much better than that. What we're talking about is most practical when you travel. This thing in my hand shoots 5K, is double stabilized. You have the amazing GoPro 9 stabilization, which includes a front screen on the camera, so you could see yourself, and a tiny gimbal that folds up and fits within your pocket. It is tiny. The entire cost of this equipment is sub $500, but there are 2 other little bits and pieces on here that make the equation complete. So first of all, I want to show you how small this gets, okay? Because when I was shooting, there are times I wanted to go away. I'm going to power it off right now. There are times I wanted my equipment to go away very quickly, and I was able to simply power down the gimbal, power down the GoPro, which I can't see what I'm doing right now because I'm trying to talk to you at the same time right here. All right, power down the GoPro, power down the gimbal, flip this little knobby thing, and just do that. And then the whole thing can almost fit in my palm and disappear super easy. So there are times I didn't want to make it so obvious I was shooting when I've traveled, places that were a little sketchy and, you know, I don't feel like getting robbed for my equipment. This has been amazing for that. Now, you can make this get even smaller by simply popping the gimbal off, and it comes off that easily. Okay, once the GoPro is off the GoPro can go in one pants pocket or even a shirt pocket because this thing's tiny. Turn this little knob right over here to loosen. Oh, I over tightened it before. I can't unloosen it. What did I do? Holy cow. I over tightened this thing. How the hell did I do that? Well, that's a problem. I'll fix that afterwards. Take 2. What the hell did I do to this thing? All right, so the way you fold this thing up, it's simply you loosen the little knob here, and that unlocks the motion, the folding motion. Rotate it so the piece with the teeth is on the bottom position. Hang on, there we go. Rotate the bottom so it locks into place. It snaps into place the bottom part. Tighten it up here so the lock is back on, and voila, you have this tiny little thing that can go into the palm of your hand or another pocket. Okay, so both of these 2 items together is my entire 5K video recording equipment when I travel. Goes in one in each pocket. When I want to run and gun, as they say, okay, simply unlock the little lock on the side, fold it back out, tighten the lock right back up, rotate this to unlock the rotation movement, flip this around, snap it right in, power things on. First the GoPro. All right. Power on the gimbal, and suddenly I'm able to record. That's it. I can flip it on right now, shoot myself, record myself. I can see myself on the little screen on here, what I'm doing, and it's that easy. And I can make the whole thing go away if I'm somewhere sketchy and I see someone watching my equipment in a way that I'm a little concerned. You know what I'm saying? All right. Shoots 5K. The GoPro 9 stabilization built-in is amazing. And then you add the gimbal, and it's super cool. Now, this gimbal is not designed for the GoPro, but it works perfectly for a GoPro 9. Now, that's the best part. It's made for a cell phone, but this works. Now, there is something I had to do to make this work without damaging the GoPro. Let me shut it off. Okay. The GoPro itself has a finish on it that would be damaged by the teeth on that gimbal. So I wrap it in this like rubber bracelet type thing, and that seems to keep the outside of it pretty secure. The downside of this is when you go to play it back, it is covering the speaker on the GoPro, so it makes the volume pretty low. So if you're actually trying to listen, I kind of tuck my finger in there like that, so I can actually get the sound out of the speaker. That's pretty much the only downside there is. The next modification that you need to do to make this the ultimate travel vlogging camera. See this little fuzzy thing on there? I don't think it's going to focus that close on me. Whatever. This little fuzzy stuff on here. That is a fake dead cat. Now, a real dead cat is what like pro TV productions use that look like that big hairy thing with all the strings coming off of the microphones. What that does is it stops the wind noise. So if you ever watch videos and you're every time the wind blows, that's really disturbing. So you have to cover the microphone with a makeshift dead cat. That's the real name. It looks like a cat that's dead that's probably why they call it that on the real ones. This is a mini one. Now this one I got is like the best one you can buy, and it's still dirt cheap. Why won't this thing focus on anything but me? Maybe if I put it in front of me. Here we go. It's Rycote. The brand is Rycote. You buy a pack, I don't know, what is there, 20 in here, some 18 in here? I have got one on every piece of camera equipment I have, and I have tons of equipment. I don't know how many come in the packet. I still haven't gone through one package yet. Basically, you get a bunch of these circular stickers. They're actually circles. This is just a tab to help you peel it off, okay? And then you put that over your microphone hole. So the hole in that sticker, it's a circle. With a hole. The hole goes over the microphone, so you're not blocking the microphone. Then you put this fuzzy little thing over. Please focus, for crying out loud. Here we go. Put the focus. I can't get this thing to focus. There we go. You put this fuzzy thing. By the way, Sony makes the best focusing cameras. It won't lose focus on my face. That's why. But in the meantime, I wanted to focus on this. Here we go. Block my own face. This little fuzzy thing you put on over these double-sided sticky loopy things, okay? Now, and what that basically is going to do is put a circular sticker over the holes where the microphone are, and then a fuzzy thing over that. That fuzzy thing completely stops the wind noise from reaching the microphone, but does not have any audio interference, meaning like your sound comes out just fine. Now, the GoPro has the most wide lens I've ever seen on any camera, so this becomes a problem because the little fuzzy hairs go up and actually get into the line of sight in the camera. Now, the reason it does that, it has to do with how wide this lens is, plus the stabilization in the camera. See, sometimes you turn it on, you see the fuzz, and sometimes you don't. The reason is because as it stabilizes, it's moving the picture within the picture. Never mind the technicalities. The bottom line is even if you think you can't see the fuzz, you probably can. So I took a scissors and gave it a little bit of a haircut on the one that's on my GoPro. However, I didn't do this for the very first few videos I shot with it, and the hairs did show up in camera. So just learn from my mistake. Give this thing a haircut before you start. It also is a little bit bigger than this whole camera, so it goes on the bottom here. If you plan to use your GoPro underwater, this is going to get ruined. I don't use it underwater, although I have used it in the rain, and nothing has happened to the little fuzzy thing. And even if it did, well, they give you like 20 of them in the package, so it's kind of irrelevant. So now, fuzzy thing, that gets you good audio. Rubber bracelet thingamajiggy. This was given to me by a friend of mine. She's a bit of a hippie, so it says on it, butterflies are forever. I don't know what it means. She said she got it from Burning Man. I have no idea. But it's a cool rubber band thing. It's like a rubber bracelet. This protects your GoPro from getting scratched up by the gimbal, which wasn't really designed for this, but works perfectly, okay? These little teeth right here will eat up the finish on your GoPro if you don't do that. Also, your GoPro has to be balanced in the gimbal for it to work optimally. However, the weight of a GoPro is not balanced. It's actually heavier on the side of the lens, I think. No, not the lens. The lens is the lighter side. So when you position it in here, okay, I'm used to it already because I've put this thing in like 1,000 times. You're not positioning it centered. You're positioning it off-center right about there. Let's see if I can get it in while showing you on the camera. Okay, No, that's not right. You see, if it hangs like that, when it's off, that means it's not balanced. Let's see if I can figure out where the balance point. There we go. That's balanced. All right. If it doesn't turn to the side, either side, that's about where you want it to be when the gimbal is off, right there. And if you see, it's not exactly balanced in there. It's offset towards away from the lens. Okay, towards the screen side. I guess that whatever internals they made this screen out of, it weighs more than the internals for the lens half of the electronics. Now, once you do that, you're in. Just power the gimbal on. And obviously you got to power the GoPro on as well. But that's it. Run and gun, man. Now, this whole thing can easily go inside a heavy pocket. I'm shutting it off. A heavy coat pocket or even a small coat pocket. It can go in anything. This is the greatest vlogging setup ever. Now, to take it one step further, and this is optional, but I find this very useful. The GoPro is fully waterproof. The gimbal is, I think, splash proof, but I wouldn't test that theory. I'm not sure. I don't want to ruin any of my equipment, frankly, and the GoPro's not totally waterproof so long as you have this fuzzy dead cat thing on there, because that's going to get ruined in the wet. So when I travel somewhere where I think that my whole backpack might get sopping wet, like pouring rain, I use one of these. It's a dry bag. And honestly, there's 1,000 versions of this on the internet. You don't have to use this one, but they all kind of work the same. It's a very thin material. Actually, they have thin and thick material, but I would use the thin ones, which is like a very fine, thin vinyl. It's fully waterproof. You just dump your equipment in this thing. I usually do it folded up. I don't know if it fits. Oh, it even fits like this without folding the gimbal down. Okay, and then you wrap the top part at least three times over. Roll it around, roll. And then just take the two ends, which all have a buckle. The buckle varies from design one to the other. If it feels like there's air trapped inside, that's perfect, because that's going to help it float if you drop it in the water. You want it to float if you drop it in the water. Either way, air trapped inside is good. It means it's really going to keep your stuff dry. If you're worried about pressuring it and popping it, then you want to push the air out before you close this thing up. But it is now waterproof, at least in your bag. I mean, you can't shoot like this, but this is... It's kind of funny, right? That's the gimbal moving around in there. This thing is completely waterproof inside my travel bag. I don't have to worry that if I get stuck in a typhoon somewhere in Asia or I fall in the water holding this thing, I'm going to damage my equipment. Now, this is great. This goes in my backpack. When I'm traveling, it comes out in a snap. It actually takes much longer to put the stuff in this thing to get it out in old dry bags. That's it. It's in your hand. You're ready to run and gun and shoot. This is it. This is the ultimate traveling equipment. Now, mind you, this is replacing old other equipment that I had that either did not have a front screen, which is miserable to vlog on because there's so many times you frame your shots bad because of that, or they didn't have the gimbal. Okay, there is equipment I had that was without a gimbal. So, like, this is ultimate. You have the gimbal. You have the world's best digital stabilization in the GoPro 9 that I've encountered. You have windproof with the fuzzy thingamajiggy, and you have weather resistant. It's not really weatherproof, it's weather resistant, and it all fits in your pocket. This is the world's best equipment. If you like this, or if you got a suggestion of something better, stick it in the comments below. I think this is the world's best equipment, so that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. See you all in the next video. Thank you all for watching. If you want to buy this stuff, I'll stick the links in the dibbly-doo, you know, the description thing on the bottom, or a sticky comment, or one of those things. You know what to do. All right, thank you all for watching. See you in the next video. Peace out. Keep traveling. Love you all. Bye. Yo.